Uruvela Kassapa takes refuge. A powerful ascetic meets a deeper path. After sending the first 60 disciples into the world, the Buddha also began walking again. He traveled toward Uruvela, a quiet region near the Neranjara River. This was close to the place where he had practiced before awakening. In Uruvela lived a famous ascetic named Kassapa. He was known as Uruvela Kassapa. According to early Buddhist tradition, he led 500 followers. They wore matted hair, practiced strict discipline, and performed rituals with sacred fire. Many people respected Kassapa as a holy man. He had practiced for years, guided ceremonies, and trained many disciples. Deep in his heart, he believed that he had already reached the highest state. It is difficult to question a path that has shaped an entire life. It becomes even harder when many people praise us and wait for our guidance. Kassapa was sincere and disciplined. But even sincere practice can hide pride. The Buddha came to meet Kassapa without argument or display. He simply asked for a place to stay for the night. The Buddha said, "Kassapa, if you allow it, I would like to spend the night in your fire chamber." Kassapa hesitated. Tradition says that a dangerous serpent lived there. It was believed to be fierce, poisonous, and filled with fiery power. Kassapa warned him, "Great ascetic, you may stay there, but a dangerous serpent lives inside. It may harm you." The Buddha answered calmly, "Kassapa, it will not harm me." At last, Kassapa gave permission. That evening, the Buddha entered the chamber and sat quietly. During the night, the serpent became angry. Tradition says that smoke and fire filled the room. Outside, Kassapa and his followers saw the light and believed the strange ascetic had surely been destroyed. But when morning came, the Buddha was sitting unharmed. The serpent had lost its power and rested inside the Buddha's bowl. The Buddha showed it to Kassapa and said, "Kassapa, here is the serpent you feared." Kassapa was deeply amazed. He could no longer believe that the visitor was ordinary. Still, one thought remained in his mind. This ascetic has great spiritual power. But he is not fully awakened as I am. This thought returned again and again. Kassapa recognized the Buddha's unusual abilities, but he could not accept that the Buddha had reached a freedom deeper than his own. Seeing something new does not always change an old belief. The eyes may witness the truth while the mind continues protecting its former position. For Kassapa, the hardest obstacle was not the serpent or the fire. It was the belief that he had already completed the path. The Buddha remained near Kassapa's settlement for some time. Early Buddhist texts describe several unusual events during this period. Again and again, Kassapa saw qualities he could not explain. The Buddha remained calm in danger and seemed to know what others could not know. Each event caused surprise, but surprise did not immediately become humility. Kassapa continued thinking, "He is a powerful ascetic. But he is not an arahant like me." One day, Kassapa prepared a large fire sacrifice. Many people were expected to come. Food, gifts, and offerings had been gathered. It was an event where Kassapa's position and reputation would be clearly seen. Tradition says that a hidden wish arose in his mind. He hoped the Buddha would not attend. If the Buddha came, the crowd might pay more attention to him. Kassapa did not speak this wish aloud. But the Buddha understood it and stayed away. After the event, Kassapa visited him. He asked, "Great ascetic, why did you not come yesterday? Food had been prepared, and a place was ready for you." The Buddha answered, "Kassapa, did you not wish that I would stay away?" Kassapa became silent. The thought he believed was hidden had been seen clearly. Once again, he understood that the Buddha's awareness was deep. But still he thought, "This ascetic can know another person's mind. Yet he is not an arahant like me." Kassapa truly believed in his own path. He had practiced for years and guided hundreds of followers. His whole life supported the idea that he had reached the goal. But practice can become another place for the self to hide. A person may think, "I have practiced longer than others. I understand more than others. I live more purely than others." The words sound spiritual, but they can still strengthen the feeling of I and mine. Kassapa had given up many worldly things. Yet he had not given up the image of himself as a fully awakened teacher. The Buddha did not try to defeat him through miracles. Miracles may create wonder, but wonder does not cut the root of attachment. Kassapa needed to see the truth of his own mind. At last, the Buddha spoke directly. "Kassapa, you are not an arahant. You have not entered the path to arahantship. The practice you are holding does not lead to complete awakening. These words struck the place Kassapa had protected most carefully. For years, people had called him holy. 500 followers trusted his direction. He believed his path was complete. Now the Buddha told him that he had not reached the goal. Kassapa could have become angry. He could have defended himself or walked away. But something changed within him. He sensed that the Buddha was not speaking from competition. There was no desire to shame him or steal his followers. The Buddha was pointing toward a truth Kassapa had avoided. For the first time, Kassapa looked at himself without the protection of his title. His years of discipline had not been useless. They had trained him to endure hardship and live with restraint. But he had not fully seen pride. He had controlled outer fire, but he had not understood the inner fire of self-importance. He had guarded the sacred flame, but he had not noticed how strongly he guarded the thought, "I am already complete." That thought had stopped him at the door of deeper understanding. Kassapa finally became honest with himself. What broke was not his true dignity. What broke was the illusion that had covered it. He bowed before the Buddha and said, "Blessed One, please allow me to leave the household life under your guidance. Please allow me to receive the training and follow the Dharma." The man who had trusted his own power now placed himself before a deeper path. The Buddha did not immediately accept Kassapa alone. Kassapa was responsible for 500 followers. They had trusted him and built their lives around his teaching. The Buddha said, "Kassapa, you are the teacher of 500 ascetics. You should first tell them what you have decided. They must be allowed to choose their own path." This was an important act of respect. The Buddha did not treat Kassapa's followers as property. Taking refuge cannot be forced. A spiritual decision must come from understanding and willingness. Kassapa returned to his followers. He told them what he had seen. He admitted that he had believed himself to be fully awakened. He explained that after meeting the Buddha, he had recognized a path deeper than his own. His followers knew him well. They knew that he was not a man who bowed easily. If such a teacher admitted that he had more to learn, they understood that the reason must be serious. According to tradition, the 500 ascetics chose to follow him. They carried their fire ritual tools to the Neranjara River. They placed the vessels and objects into the flowing water. The old tools drifted away. This was more than the disposal of physical things. It showed a change in direction. For years, they had looked to outer fire for purity and power. Now they were preparing to look at the fires within the mind. The fire of craving, the fire of anger, the fire of ignorance. Kassapa and his followers approached the Buddha and asked to enter the path. The Buddha accepted them. He said, "Come, monks. The Dharma has been well taught. Live the holy life for the complete ending of suffering." Kassapa had once been the teacher of hundreds. Now he became a disciple. But this did not make him smaller. It made his practice honest. He was no longer using his strength to protect an image. He was using it to walk toward freedom. Admitting that we are wrong is not always defeat. Sometimes it is the beginning of wisdom. A person who refuses correction may appear strong, but remains trapped inside his own position. A person who can say, "I have not seen everything," becomes able to learn. The story of Kassapa is not about a weak man surrendering to a stronger man. It is about a sincere practitioner recognizing the most subtle form of clinging within himself. The fire he worshipped burned outside. The fire the Buddha taught him to see burned inside. Outer rituals may create discipline and devotion. But if craving, anger, and pride remain untouched, suffering continues. This is also true in our own lives. Experience and confidence can help us grow, but they become obstacles when they close the door to learning. The thoughts "I already know and I cannot be wrong" may feel safe, yet they can keep truth outside. Sometimes a deeper path comes through words that make us uncomfortable. Sometimes it appears when another person sees something we have missed. Sometimes it begins when we lower our pride and become willing to learn again. The river carried away the tools of the old rituals. The 500 ascetics stood before a new life. They had spent years tending flames. Now they would learn to watch sensations, thoughts, desires, and attachments. They would learn that the mind becomes free not by proving its power, but by understanding what causes it to burn. We may also have our own sacred fires. They may be habits we have followed for years. They may be roles that bring us respect. They may be opinions we cannot imagine changing. These things are not always wrong. But when they prevent us from seeing clearly, the time comes to loosen our hold. The old fire ritual tools drifted down the Neranjara River. Kassapa and his 500 followers stood at the beginning of another kind of practice. The outer flames were becoming quiet. The work of understanding the inner flames was about to begin. May the courage to learn again remain within you today. May you meet your own certainty with honesty, and may humility open the door to a deeper peace and freedom.